Quist. Before we talk a little bit about your position in the band, please introduce yourself and tell me something about your musical life.
Okay. Most people call me Quist.
Your whole name is Jakob.
Yeah, my name is Jakob Quistgard, but I've sort of it's been my nickname since I was a child because I had a lot of friends called Jakob, so we all got different names, and that sort of stuck with me. But yeah, I've been playing with Bryan for a year and a half, nearly 2 years, hello, sorry. and yeah, just absolutely loving it. I've been based in London for about 17 years since I was a teenager, but I've just moved to Los Angeles where I now live. I've been living there for about 8 months, 9 months even, but I grew up in Denmark.
All right.
So those are my roots.
Yeah. We just spoke about that. This is a band of minimum 2 generations. Really young guys, really experienced guy. Could you...
We actually have 3 generations at the moment
right.
On stage. I don't know if you've seen any footage, because one of us has a baby in her,
okay.
Her belly. Yeah.
Right. Quist, can you describe a little bit your position in this band? I mean, you're the lead guitar player of the band. What is the thing that you bring to the table in this band?
What's the thing that I bring to the table? Well, I mean, I get to do a lot of solos, which is obviously something which is something I love. So, I mean, in Bryan's music, there's space for a lot of instrumental kind of, features. He's got a lot of that. As part if you see him as an artist and somebody who paints, he uses that brush quite often, and I get to paint some of those strokes, and I'm very, very happy that I get to do that, obviously. And yeah, I try and bring a certain sort of energy, to the band. A lot of the time, there are things that are quiet and very subtle, but Bryan also likes, when you take a solo that just sort of that goes like that, and I try and bring that at certain points in the set, so yeah.
All right. Quist, you're too young to know the Roxy music originals from the date when they were released.
Yes.
What is your opinion to that kind of songs? I mean, do you feel them timeless, fresh? Are they old school for you?
No, I find them immensely inspiring. Like when you go back and watch that stuff, like, you see also with Bryan Eno and like, the kind of level of invention that they were, were able to achieve at the time. They were so inventive, and that, that is just one of the most inspiring things, like in music, for me anyway, to see something where you just think, if you imagine what it was like to be there at that time, to see that, your mind must just, it was mind-blowing. But my mind is still blown when I go and look at it now. We do that sometimes. We send a link to each other, on a group email, just to, if we're doing a certain song and somebody's found a great live recording of it, or a TV show they did, in the 70s or whatever, things like that. And it's just, they were amazing. So
you have a favorite Roxy music track? Or 2 or 3?
Yeah. Well, one that I personally love to play is Remake Remodel, which is it was the first one, I think, wasn't it? That for me is just also because we were talking about earlier. We were talking about levels of freedom. you know, some things I play are very much like the originals, some things are hinting at the originals, and some things are very free. And remake, remodel is kind of in between, like where I sort of hint at the original sometimes, and because I mean it's amazing what's on there, but the vibe of the song sort of allows you to also be quite free, you know, within that. So it's just so much fun,
right,
to perform that song, you know. And I think we might do it on this tour, but we haven't done it yet. We've done it in soundcheck. But I hope we're going to do it. We did it last year a lot. Actually, in fact, last year we opened every set pretty much with that song.
So you have to persuade Bryan to play it in the show.
Exactly. So when we play it in soundcheck, it's got to sound damn good.
Right. Okay.
So it's that kind of thing. But yeah, that's one of my favorites for sure. It's just mind-bogglingly original and very cool.
All right. Okay, Quist. Thank you very much.
Jimmy Sims. I am currently touring with Bryan Ferry around Germany and a little bit of other parts of Europe, Switzerland and Belgium, and then we're going to go and finish off in the UK next week.
Can you explain a little bit how you came into the band?
How I came to Bryan's band, so they were looking for it was bizarre, they were looking for a rhythm section that came together, so as one rhythm section. And a friend of mine, as with all of these things, a friend knows a friend knows a friend. And a drummer friend of mine said he was going to go for the audition, so would I like to go along? So I said, yeah, of course. I've actually been a fan of Bryan's stuff and of Roxy Music stuff for a little while. So yeah, I'd just come off another tour and I was looking for some work, so I was like, yeah, this is going to be great. Went down and so it turns out they took me, but they didn't take my drummer friend, and they took a drummer from another pairing, so they've ended up with, because they were looking for drums and bass at the same time, they've ended up with not a rhythm section that came together, if that makes any sense. But yeah, so that's it's one of those things, friends of friends of friends.
When was it?
I got in at the beginning of 2015, so I've been in nearly a year now.
All right. You just mentioned that you had to do an audition.
Yes.
Can you explain a little bit what kind of songs did you had to learn, and how was the audition for you?
Well, I am pretty spectacularly bad at auditions, and traditionally, if I have to audition for something, it means I won't get it. But so I went and I think we had some clips of some classic Roxy music and some classic Bryan Ferry. I think I had to learn Oh Yeah and Love Is the Drug, Virginia Plain, a few of these. Not the whole song, but just like the basic groove. So I did a lot of internet research. I looked at a lot of different YouTube clips, because Bryan's had a load of different bass players over the years and everybody's played things very differently. So yeah, just tried to work out where to sort of put myself, where to position, where to play to my strengths, you know, whether it was going to be effects, whether I was going to be picks or fingers, or and then we went down to the studio. Bryan's got a studio in London, and just kind of had a play. I seem to remember, I don't remember whether he was there the first time or whether he was there the second time. There were two different auditions, but the musical director, who's the keyboard player, was there and sort of checking us out. So.
And what was the reason that this time you haven't been bad?
I don't know. I've got absolutely no idea. I think because it was like, because I sort of resigned myself to go, oh, I'm never going to get this. I never get anything off an audition, and B, Bryan Ferry's never going to pick me, for goodness sake. So I was just like, oh, fine, I'll just go. And I had the attitude of, if I get to play Love Is the Drug, and Virginia Plain and Remake, Remodel, if I get to play these songs just once, you know, then that's good enough for me. Do you know what I mean? So, and yeah, I think I was just relaxed.
All right. Basically. Give me one sentence about what you find so special to the Roxy Music Bryan Ferry material from the standpoint of a bass player.
From a bass player's point of view, it's the variety. He's spanned from like 1971, 72 through to today, and he's had so many different styles, so many different bass players, so many different classic bass players. You know, the last album alone has had Flea, Marcus Miller, Paul Turner, Guy Pratt on it. You know, John Wetton played bass, John Gustafsson played bass, Alan Spencer played, all these different people with such varying styles. So for me, it's the whole show is a musical journey for bass throughout the 70s and 80s and then into the 90s, and it's incredible for a bass player. It's a great gig.
All right, thank you very much.